Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I'm back with a new video. And again, I'm sorry I haven't been around very much lately. Just been very busy with work and with life in general. And I really haven't got much time to make any new videos lately. But I have been going to a lot of concerts. I have been buying a lot of records lately. I've been procrastinating on making these videos, honestly. But anyways, I figured today is Sunday. I have some time off, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to catch up on some of these videos. And yeah, like I said, I do have a lot of content to show you, especially from some of the concerts that I've been going to lately. So I'm gonna make an attempt of trying to catch up on some of my new VC videos. So yeah, like you saw in the title of this video, this is gonna be an update, or I guess my thoughts and my review of a music festival that I went to back in July of this year in 2017. I took about a week and a half off work, and I traveled throughout Spain. And since I was there, I actually took a couple of days to go to a music festival over there in Madrid. It is the Mad Cool Music Festival, Mad as in Madrid. And I guess this is the second year that they've been doing this concert or this music festival. So a fairly new festival over there in Europe. And keep in mind that I haven't been to a music festival in Europe before, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's very different going to a music festival in Europe compared to going to a music festival here in the US, which I'll share my thoughts about that in the next few minutes or so. So yeah, I went out to the music festival, and just so you know, I'll put a picture here of the lineup. Some of the highlights, or I guess the headliners of the concert or the festival, were the Foo Fighters, Green Day, and Kings of Leon were the main headliners, and some of the more popular bands were Foals, Belle and Sebastian, Catfish and the Ballman, Kurt Vile, Ryan Adams, Rancid, Slowdive, Spoon, Cage the Elephant, Wilco, Dinosaur Jr., Savages. So yeah, really a terrific lineup for this year's Mad Cool Festival. I was super excited to go see the Foo Fighters. I've never seen them before, and I knew that they always put out a great show. And of course, to see Green Day is one of my favorite bands too. So I was super excited about this festival. And like I said before, this was only the second year that they've been doing this kind of festival in Spain. It's also supposed to be one of the largest in Europe. I think they were expecting about 45,000 people at the event, and the tickets sold out like days in advance. So they were expecting a lot of people, and unfortunately you could tell that this was a very new festival, or I guess a very young festival as far as the organization, because they had a lot of issues when it comes to the logistics and the event's organization itself, which I'll tell you about in the next throughout the videos, or throughout this series of videos that I will make about the festival. But just to get started, just getting into the festival was a complete mess, and I guess part of it wasn't really their fault, because the first day of the festival, it was raining like crazy. And just so you know, the festival was at a tennis stadium about 20 miles south of downtown Madrid. To get there, you just have to get on the metro. The metro leaves you somewhere really close by, about 10-minute walk from the metro station to the arena. The thing is that it was raining so bad that the walk from the metro station into the arena itself was a mess. It was raining like I've never seen before. Even though we were wearing ponchos, we were completely soaked by the time we got into the arena. And even before getting into the arena, it was a mess because the lines were so long. And I could tell you right now, they did not have enough people working at the arena to get everybody in quickly enough. It took at least 1 hour in the line just to get into the places where you could exchange your ticket to the festival bracelet and to get into the arena itself. It was just a mess, and I can tell you for sure they did not have enough people working there. But anyways, that was one of the bad things. They claimed that because of the rain, they had some technical issues with the system or something like that. But either way, I think that it could have been handled a little bit better when it comes to getting people into the arena. Anyways, we didn't have any issues with our tickets. Some people did have some issues with their electronic tickets. In our case, we went in fine into the arena. We went to see the bands. Once we started walking in, you could tell that it was slowly stopping the rain was slowly stopping, I guess, finally. So it was finally starting to dry off from that crazy torrential rain that we got before. We were still soaked, but at least it wasn't raining, it wasn't miserable. And the first band that we went to see was a band called Warpaint. And if you watch my videos, you know that I've talked about this band a few times before. I actually saw them earlier this year at the Shaky Knees Music Festival here in Atlanta. A fantastic band. I was really looking forward to seeing them again. They played a lot of really good songs, especially from their new album, which is fantastic as well. Let's check out some clips. Alright, so that was the band Warpaint at Mad Cool Festival in Madrid. Great band, as you saw. They, in my opinion, what they do best is combining really good elements of dance music with electronic music and rock and roll, and of course the vocals are awesome. And like I said before, I've seen them before at another music festival, and they also put a great show there too. So highly recommend that you check out this band, the Warpaint. Now, as far as the rain, it did not affect the performance of Warpaint, from my opinion, for what I could see. The audio seemed just fine from that second stage at this outdoor event. But you could see, and I'll show you some pictures, that some of the gear was wrapped in plastic. I'm not sure if that really affected the quality of the sound later on, but from that first show that I saw, the sound was okay. Later on, I will talk a little bit about the issues that they had with the lights, or with the light system. Alright, so the next band that I saw after Warpaint was a band called Falls, and this band is getting pretty popular, at least here in the US. They have a lot of really catchy songs. I'm not a huge fan of the band, but I do like a lot of their songs. Again, I've seen them before live, and they put a great show too. Lots of energy. Let's check out some videos. Alright, so that was Fools performing live at the Mad Cool Festival in Madrid back in July. Alright, one more thing that you should know about music festivals in Europe, especially if you're not used to those kind of festivals or if you're from here in the US. But the festivals in Europe are set up very different to the ones in the US. First of all, the main headliners of the festivals, they play in the middle. They don't play at last, which is, I always thought that was kind of strange, but that's how they do it over there. And I think it's the main reason is because the festivals start a lot later in Europe compared to the festivals here in the US. Usually here the music festivals start around noon, maybe 1 p.m. And they end up like at 10 or 11 at night, maybe midnight, depends on the city. The ones in Europe, they start a lot later. They usually start like around 4 or 5 p.m. and they don't end up until like 4 or 5 in the morning, which is really crazy if you think about it. But I think that's why they do it, that they have the main headliners playing in the middle, so they usually end up like around midnight, and then they keep on playing with other bands after that, all the way up till 5 in the morning. But yeah, so the next band that I saw and that first day was actually the Foo Fighters, which was the main headliner of the event, of the festival. Yeah, like I said before, I was super excited to go see them because I've never seen them before, but I heard that they always put a great, fantastic shows. You can really expect no less from Dave Grohl and the gang. So yeah, I was super excited about that, but they had a lot of issues with the setup of the Foo Fighters as far as the event. Number one, apparently the rain was so bad that it completely messed up the lights. Some of the lights in the background were working, but the screens were not working at all. And the issue was that it was so packed, it was completely full. Even it was a very large arena, it was completely full. We could only see it from further in the back. So we could really see Dave Grohl and the band really small from there, especially since we didn't have the big screens to see at least a video of the performance. So actually, after the Foo Fighters show, I went online to some of the social media pages, and there were a lot of people complaining not only about the video and the lights, but also about the sound quality, which from my perspective, when we were in the right side of the stage, the sound was okay. But apparently in the left side of the stage, for the people listening from that side, the sound wasn't working very well. They had a lot of issues with the speakers coming in from that side, which was I think the reason why many people were complaining about that issue. But talking about the performance itself of the Foo Fighters, fantastic show. They always put a great show, high energy. Of course, Dave Grohl just going crazy and balls out in the stage. 100% rock and roll from start to finish. No really time to rest or anything. They don't play an encore because they play throughout the whole, I think, two and a half hours they have to play with really little or no rest in between the songs. So they played all the hits. A lot of really great songs, pretty much all the hits from all their albums. I'm not a massive Foo Fighters fan, but I recognized most of them, especially the ones from the 90s era of the Foo Fighters. Great set, but one thing that I will say, and I know I may get a little bit of hate from some of the Foo Fighters fans, but I can't listen to the Foo Fighters more than 2 hours straight. Once it gets to the 2-hour point, I just get really bored of them, and I think it's because a lot of the songs start sounding a little bit too similar, in my opinion. And you might think, oh, you're the guy that likes Green Day, a lot of their songs sound the same, but Green Day doesn't do that to me. I don't know why, but the Foo Fighters do. And don't get me wrong, I do like the Foo Fighters. I think they're a great band, perhaps one of the best bands in my generation, but it gets to a point where I just get bored of them, especially on that festival when it was raining so much. I was still soaked, my shoes were soaked, it was really uncomfortable. Alright, so that was the Foo Fighters with a few more songs from their Mad Cool Festival event. I really wish that the lights were working, because they look like they would have like some really cool stuff going on with the lights and the screens. But anyways, like I said before, so the main headliners play in the middle of the festival, and then later on they have a few more bands playing. I think at that point it was already like 1 a.m. or like 2 a.m. So it was getting late, but they had a few more bands that I really wanted to see, and one of them was Kurt Weill and the Violators. You may know Kurt Weill, he's been in the news lately because he just released a new album with Courtney Barnett. Great artist. I wasn't really very familiar with some of his solo stuff, but I really wanted to check it out anyways. Let's check out some clips. So as you can see, a very talented guy, Kurt Weill, and also very funny. One of the things that he said during when he started his set was that he wanted to thank the Foo Fighters for opening for him, which I thought it was really funny. But anyways, a really cool set from Kurt Weill. I'll actually be seeing him live in the next I think in the next month, when he performs with Courtney Barnett back here in the US. Alright, so that was Kurt Weill and the Violators. The final band that I saw was the Catfish and the Bottlemen. I thought I recorded a clip of them playing, but for some reason I didn't. And like I said before, at that point I was just still soaked, I was still wet, it was very uncomfortable and it was cold. It was really late at night. The lights weren't working, so it was also kind of dark over there in the music festival, so we just headed back to the hotel. Overall, it was a solid festival, lots of really great performances for that first night at Mad Cool, but I was still really hoping that they would improve the organization or the logistics of the event for day 2, which is the day where they would have bands like Green Day and Rancid. It's just some of my favorite bands. But overall, it was still fun. The rain really made it interesting, but I really wish that they would have planned a little bit ahead when it comes to the rain and the sound quality and the lights, of course. But anyways, that's I guess gonna be my video number 1 of my series of videos about the Mad Cool Festival. Stay tuned for video number 2. I'll be talking about that Green Day show, the very infamous Green Day show, and Rancid and some other bands. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching VC, and take care. Bye bye.